How we doing? After the lesson, I need for you to call me. Okay? Did you get the PDFs? Groupings of 5, 6. Okay, everybody's listening, everybody's watching, I guess, but nobody's in the chat. As usual. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. You're still under lockdown in South Carolina, correct? You got the PDFs. All right, you have a metronome set up. What I've done yesterday or last night, we worked on the Stone Killer from the Joe Morello book, and we worked on A Table of Time. And I went through the whole thing up to 12s. How far can you get with that Table of Time, Seth? How far can you play that? Can you play up to 12s, maybe up to 6s, 7, 8, 9, 10? How far can you get? What I want to do is hang out with the 5s right now. All right. And I'm going to put the metronome on 60. This is difficult. I'm going to play. I got to get more bass on this. Hold on. I guess that's going to do for a while. I'm going to do the groupings of 5. What I usually do, I'll start in the beginning of the Table of Time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Triplets. Eighth notes. Eighth note triplets. Sixteenth notes. Fives. Sixes. 7. Now, if the metronome disappears, okay, when I mean disappears, you don't hear it when I'm playing. All right, well, we're going to work on that. I'm going to explain that to you, Seth. If the metronome disappears, that means I'm right on it. Hey, Jimmy. Now, do you have the book, Seth? And that's nice to be honest, because when you're honest, you go forward. Let's start with line 1. You have it open? So maybe the PDFs that I sent are a little too advanced. So here's what you need to do. Open up to the Table of Time. In reality, it's the same as Dave Stanik's Table of Time. Nobody really owns it. But the difference between his Table of Time, the way it was presented, and Joe Morello's Table of Time is he has a triangle. When I say triangle, he'll do the whole thing up to 12s, then go backward to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1. Boom. Okay? Didn't I send that to you, Seth? Didn't I say you have Joe Morello's Master Studies, or do you have Dave Stanik's book? All right. I did want to work on it today. Jimmy, how are you? We'll talk about that later, okay, Seth? Let's talk about Jimmy. How you making out with the table of time and your metronome? You there, James? All right, let's just hang out. I got the metronome on 60. I'm going to loosen up. First, though, when I say group me into 5, Seth, we'll start there with you. I'm doing 5 strokes in between the distance of the quarter note. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see that? I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Now 4 is to come up 4, 5. I'm in position now to attack the up and coming 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all that is a run of 5s. Let me play it with the metronome. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not easy. You understand the 5s? And now the 6s, I subdivide the count. I'm not going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to subdivide that count the way I do it. There's a couple different ways. I count 1 and 2 and 3 and. That gives me 6. Well, if you understand the count, your bass drum's on the count of 1 when you're doing the 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're starting like this. 1. Both hands are equal. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can do that over and over again until you feel comfortable and you get that metronome going, and you get 5 strokes in between the quarter note. The bass drum is the quarter note. I'm emphasizing it. Now the objective is a couple fold here. You know, it's outrageously great for your time. Now that's how I count the you understand the count, but you understand where the levels go, Seth? I start here, it's 1, but look at my hands. 2, I drop. 3, I drop. 4, I come up to get in position to hit the next accent. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see that? How about you, Jim? 8 people are watching and 2 people are in the chat. Isn't that amazing? Everybody's afraid to get into the chat and say, hello, Matt. How you doing? You suck, Matt. I disagree with you, Matt. You understand the counts of the 5. Do you understand where the level goes? That's right. That's on fives. So what you want to do first off, make sure your hands are correct, and without a metronome, just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over and over again. You feel comfortable as you do it over and over again, Seth. You're going to get comfortable. Now, I can't tell you to do that at 700 or 500 or 60 or 70. You have to find, okay, the tempo by yourself. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate a tempo. Actually, the slower the tempo, the harder it is, the more control you're going to need. But I'm going to put that metronome, what is that? I'm going to put the metronome on 6. Okay, now that means between each tick, that's the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, and a good way to just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. After you get the feeling, it might want to do it a little slower. Let's put it on 50. It's actually harder. Just get the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5, bungo dinga ba boom be g bow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1. So you feel it first without a metronome, and then attempt it here, but make sure everything is correct. It's not easy. Find yourself a tempo. Like I said, when I'm demonstrating, if you don't hear the click you don't hear the click, that means I'm right on it. If you hear the click, I'm a little after or before. So that's the practice that you're actually doing. In addition to the levels, equalizing the stroke, is getting a stronger sense of time. Now that's the fives, all right? And work on them. It's not going to happen after you work with it for a half hour or an hour. It's going to happen over a period of time, okay? Anyway, that takes care of the five. You understand the fives? Seth and Jimmy? Yes, no, maybe by chance, but dang. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the sixes, that means now we're going to add one more stroke in between the downbeat. The sixes, I'm counting. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is cool, but man, it's a lot of counting. So if for some reason it's the same amount of counting when I'm subdividing, but it seems to be easier. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 1, 2, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and seems to make it a little bit better. All right, let's get to the sixes. You have to work on them slow, Seth. They will come. Nobody picks up that book, or any book for that matter, opens it up unless you're playing for 30 years and play that down. That's a difficult page, the table of time. All right, and there's so many formulas that you can come up with, and this is one formula I didn't come up with it last night. I've had it, and I figured I'd expose this to you, or to the guys on the site here. Now, when you do the sixes, the same thing. First, do it without a metronome. Make sure you're getting the sound that you need on the snare or the drum hit. No pre-motion there. It's like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, that's the way I count it. There's another way you can count triplets. 1 and the 2 and the 1. You don't want to get a triplet. You don't want to get a triplet feel in here. A lot of guys go 1, 2, and that's not a grouping of 6. A grouping of 6 is just 6 singles over to the quarter note. 1 and 2 and 3 and. You feel good with it. You're good with the 5s. You sure, Jimmy? We're going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eventually. We'll use some linear concepts there. Yeah, if you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 in. It's on the all the accents are on the first stroke of the grouping. 6s. But what I'm after, besides, getting the table of time, making the time correct, look at the hands. So I'm playing a foot. Now, you just said the accent is on the first stroke, and I made a mistake, and I said, yes, the accent's on the first stroke of every grouping. Well, it's not. When you hit line 1, 2, and 3, I don't play no accents. I just play full strokes. If I play quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, that's only 1 stroke per downbeat. If I'm playing quarter note triplets, there's still no accents. 1 and the 2 and the 3. 8th notes. 1. All equal sound. Now I'm going to play 8th note triplets. 4, 1. That's when the accent appears. That's the grouping of 3. I'm going to send you a sheet on the table of time up to groups of 6. Okay, Seth? Well, the subdividing is a lot easier, I think. That's right. You got it going on. Jimmy, how can you, here's what I do. You might want to do something different. But if I'm going to be working on all these different groupings, what I start to do is I'll turn the metronome on after I loosened up somewhat, and I'll play down the page until I come to a stop sign. Now, by stop sign, what I mean is if I'm having a hard time. Now, 50, believe it or not, is a pretty fast tempo if you're playing groups of 12 and 11. Now, let me just give a demonstration, and when I come to the stop sign, don't laugh, okay? Now, here's what I normally do if I'm going to be working on this for the day. This tells me where I need to work. So I have 1. I'm just going to play the page down. 3, 4. I'll play line 1 for a while. Line 2. Next line. Next line. Now you see I was before and after because I'm counting, talking, and it's very difficult. This takes a really zone of meditation, of silence. Your brain has to be totally on it. It is difficult to play this and talk at the same time and know where you're at. Make sure you got a full stroke going up. Make sure you got the level system. That's a hell of a lot of things going on at one time. Okay? So, I'm going to not talk. I'm just going to play it. Here we go. choppy. I'm either before or after, but that's what it's telling me to do. So I say, okay, what I would do is where I was choppy, it's hard to make that transition at first, you know, if you're not in tune. So what I do is I stay, for example, on line 3 for a minute or two. All right, and then I'll go to line 4 for another minute or two, and 5, 6, so on and so forth. This is not easy, guys. And it tells you the truth about you. It tells you the truth about your timing, how bad it is, or how good it is. Preferably how good it is. Now, there's a lot of work to be had here. All right. In addition, you know, if you want to, Jimmy, he don't have, Seth don't never practice and he will not that he doesn't want to. He didn't spend no time with that. Okay. You as a seasoned player should have spent time with it. Now, I sent the PDFs and I formalized it. R equals grouping of 6, L equals grouping of 5. How did you make out with that, Jim? And whoever else is supposed to be in here? 10 people, nobody's in the chat. Isn't that unbelievable? Ainga bunga bunga. Jimmy, put the saxophone down, okay? And do you understand the PDFs I sent? Anybody else have the PDFs, guys? There's like, you know, only 2 people are in this chat. And it's telling me there are 10 people in this, watching this. Where are the other 8 people? Bing. All right. What I do is I made R equal a grouping of 6 and L equal a grouping of 5. So I took the grouping of 6. Who's this? Words ruin music. Charles, all right, Charles. How long have you been here, Charles? You don't have the PDFs, get on my mailing list and I'll send them to you. We're working from Joe Morello's Table of Time. Words ruin music, that's cool. Charles, where are you from? Thank you, Jim. Jimmy's becoming my right-hand man here. Just email me. I'll put you on the mailing list, and I'll send you the PDFs of today. What I've done, if you're familiar with Joe Morello's Table of Time, I took a line and made it become the R. I referenced off the stick control book. I made R become grouping of 6, and I made L become a grouping of 5. Half. So if I combine 1, there's the quarter note, groupings of 6. That's grouping of 6. Now 5. 6. 5. Well, that sounds weird. So I took, you have master studies, all right. We just went down, see, some guys don't have the book, some guys are brand new to understanding the concept. And it's difficult. The table time is difficult, takes a lot of work, and, you know, it has, we did correspond before. You owe me an email? Okay. You could tag on $5 if you'd like. Just kidding, just kidding. All right, what I did, and it's hard to do. I'm just totally, it's insane right now in my brain. So if I'm doing 5s, 6, 5, bar 6. Ah, 1 and 2 and 3 and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just a little off. We were working with Joe's Stone Killer. Now, you don't have the book, Seth, but you do know how to vamp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put I got to up it a little bit. It's putting me to sleep here. I'm going to go to, let's go to 132. That seems like a happy medium. So we already know how to do the vamps, right, Seth? The 4-measure vamps, Jimmy. And if you have master studies, Charles, then you know the vamps. 4-measure, 2, 3, 4, left hand. 3, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, so on and so forth. Now, I said this last night, and I've said it a few other times before. When I first started with Joe, it was like 4-measure vamps with the right hand, 4-measure vamps with the left hand at a variety of tempos. However, a lot of guys couldn't even keep track of 4 measures. Okay, so, and plus, by the end, hit about 15, 20 seconds into the exercise, their hands are stiffening up. All right, so now, what happens, he produced, or when he put down master studies, he has the Stone Killer in 3 parts. Actually, he couldn't put them all in. So he wrote it out shortly, all right? Instead of going 1 measure, 3 and 4 and, so you don't get tired. You get the feel of this. Put this on. You're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let me open up the page. If you have master studies. The Stone Killer, that would be page 55. Page 55. I'm going to play it down for a little bit to loosen up, okay? 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth. So he figured to give the guys who were struggling at a variety of tempos 4 rights, 4 lefts, like a half of a measure, so they can get the feel. So when they felt good with that and started to relax, he'd add on the second line, which is 1 measure, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you have the metronome going on and you're feeling good with line number 1, go to line 2. Now my line 3. 5, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll play the whole triangle up and down for a long time. Now, once you get feeling good with that, here's what he'd have you do before you even went and did the Stone Killer. And this is what not inspired him, but he figured, well, let me try this to help out the guys. You're doing stick control book. Remember, guys, in half strokes, you're playing the line, and you repeat the line, and the hand that you end with is the hand you vamp with for 4 measures. Now, the reason why he went 4 measures, it's 8 and 8, right? It's 6/4, okay? If you asked, the question is, how do I count the third line? Well, look at the time signature. It's 6/4. That means there's 6 beats to a measure, and each quarter note receives a count or a beat. So I counted the previous measure in 4/4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to 6/4, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Hey, let me hang out with that one for a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Does that help you out there, Charles? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Got it? Does that help you out somewhat? What are you talking about, Jimmy? 4 on the floor, 4 on the cymbal, 4 on the snare and bass drum? It wasn't, what do you mean group of 3? Well, that's the way it's written. It's actually a group of 4, 1 and 2 and, then 3 and 4 and, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. If you understand the math and the rules of a time signature, there's 3 groupings of 4. That's what confused you. But it's actually, 6 times 2, 12 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. How about 4 on the cymbal, 4 on the snare, and 4 on the bass drum? Well, yeah, you can do that, and 4 on the hi-hat as well. But I mean, that's a whole different exercise together. You're actually working all your limbs. You could do 4. If I did 1 and 2 and 2, yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3, sorry, hi-hat, yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Is that what you're talking about, Jim? I mean, that's just a totally different exercise. Jimmy? Seth, you understand all this stuff? Actually, the more you work with the vamp, equalizing the right hand and the left hand, the smoother your single strokes will become. That's what I'm just doing is just a different exercise where you ask for. I mean, we have that coordination. Remember, 1 and 3 and equal the top, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and a 4 and equal the bottom. That's a linear exercise. We're not worried about that right now. We're developing the hand. If you turn the stick control book, let's go to page, I forgot to investigate that shit. Oh, so many things to do. We go to page 10, you're doing, if I go like this, 1 and 2, that's actually half of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. do it with the left-hand lead. It strengthens both sides. That's the object of the vamp. You're following. Good for you, Seth. Jimmy, where did that exercise come from? Ha! Anybody have any questions? Any problems so far? Where's the crew? We're missing Stacy, Bob, Paul, Hoist, Randy, Mike. I told them 12:30 instead of 1. Okay, now you don't have. I'm going to have to, when we see each other, Seth, I'm going to write all this stuff out for you, and let me see if I have a copy of the Master Studies. I'll send it to you as PDF. Okay. Now, words, room, music. That's Charlie and Jimmy. Have you been doing the first section of Joe Morello's table? Master Studies, say line 1 through line 5. You guys been working on that? And I did show you that line 27 as a new warm-up exercise. Let's go to the front of the book. I'm so not organized today because today is the last time we're doing, it's one of the last time until doing 4 days a week until September. If you go to Joe's book, that's page 7, 1 through 5. Now, here's what's going on. It's actually presented in 16th notes. All right, now, the way Joe, everybody have that page out except Seth, right? Page 7. Well, man, it's a great book. What it does, it really familiarizes you with the levels and the sticking heights. You got bottled. Ha! Jimmy, you okay? All right, well, if you have the book, I'm going to slow this down anyway. Why don't you open up to page 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines there that I want to go over. Page 7, you're on, Charles, you on page 7? See, before you journey into something like this, a lot of guys do not understand sticking heights or the level system. And the level system is the way you play, whether you realize it or not. You have dynamics, your sticking heights to produce the sound. It's all the laws of physics. All right, let me give a brief summation of that. That's an 18-inch stroke, roughly. I mean, I don't know. From the tip of my stick to impact of the drum is about 18 inches. It can be more or less, give or take, but I refer to it as 18 inches. That's a full stroke. And the distance is really great. It's actually, instead of, we're not going to use what they call an arm stroke, we're just using a stroke from the wrist. It's producing a louder sound. Now the next sticking position is a half stroke, which is about half of the full stroke, which is about 9 inches. And I stroke from that point. So now I have 2 different sounds. I have the full stroke and the half stroke. And one more would be the quarter stroke, would be down here. Now, that's giving me different basic dynamics. Soft, moderately loud, and loud. Now the level system, again, it's good to review and revisit. We have the full stroke, downstroke, tap, and upstroke. And that's what you use when you play. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not mechanical, it's natural, it's the laws of physics. Full stroke, downstroke, tap, up. Example, a single paradiddle. I'm going to do it in four quarter notes. I have an accent on the first stroke of my paradiddle. The next two strokes are not accented, and I'm going to alternate it to the left side. So if I start here, 1, I got the accent. Now if I hit 2, I'm going to have to come up only because I'm attacking the next up and coming accent. But notice, when I went down, up, tap, tap, the upstroke and the tap sound the same. Got it? That's just an example. For example, if I'm playing straight eighth notes, 1 and 2, 3, 4, and I'm saying, okay, I want you to accent 1, 2, 3, 4 with the same hand. You're going to give me this. Down, up, two different sounds. 1 and 2 and. How consistent the sound is. Now, Joe Morello can put these exercises together, and they're really amazing. How you doing, Hoist? All right, they're amazing because it really familiarizes you with the level system and makes you get in tune with the sound you're supposed to be getting. You have an accent and a non-accent, and you're always putting your hands in position to attack the up-and-coming accent. So now, line 1 is written in cut time, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to get into that. But we're going to count, I count it, you should count it the way he projects it as 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The way I teach this is that one measure, I make a 2-measure increment. For example, the first right, left, right, right, I'll count as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, again, 2, 3. I'm on the second measure left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm putting aside the way he wants that, the way it's written to be and how it's supposed to be played. I'm going to run through it in quarter notes. So that means by the time I get to the end of that line, I've played 4 measures of quarter notes. So my starting position is both hands are in the full stroke position. Now I say, why? Okay, why? The first stroke is a right hand accent, but it has to remain down. Why? Because my next right is non-accented. Now, my next stroke is the left hand accent, but this time I have to have a free stroke. Why? Okay, where's my next left hand? It's going to be an accent, so I'm in position. Then you have 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm back. I'm going to do the second measure now, attacking with the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with this guy, the first one, your starting position is actually your ending position. I'll hit up, what's this? The starting, I look at the computer, I am so confused sometimes. I just have so many things running through my mind. I'm going to put the tempo up a little bit, but this time I'm going to play it in eighth notes. Then 16ths. All right, what I'm going to do, this is the way you should practice once you get the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I've completed that one line in quarter notes and you're feeling good, first you want to stay on it for a while so you feel good, you understand the movement, you got everything in place. And you're going 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to change the eighth notes. 1 after I finish. 3, 4. I'm up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And the eighth notes. 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 again. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. Now 16, 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and over and over again. My advice to you, hang out with it in quarter notes. That's fine, I hope you too. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay, my advice to you is hang out with it in quarter notes for a while and stop. Then you're feeling good about that, hang out in quarter notes. Hang out with the eighth notes rather, for a while. Once you complete the eighth notes, hang out with the 16ths and then you're done. Each and every one of those lines have its own personality, its own meaning to help you. I was very aware of my levels, my heights, well, that's the levels, and my sound. The sound will absolutely, the levels or the heights will absolutely give you the correct sound. I have to change this head. It sounds terrible. Okay? And I apologize. So, you want me to go on with up to all these lines, or one line is cool? I have a video on YouTube. All right? It's breaking down what I just did from line 1 to line 5. I have two of them. One is and 16th also, dear Charles. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Hoist. I have a video of two different ways. I have it at line 1 through 5, is that, or 6? Yeah, 1 through 5 at 208. And then I have a breakdown video of each line, slow. So if you want to look that up, look it up. And it'll break it all down for you. What's the downstroke, what's the upstroke, what's the tap? But that's the important thing here. Forget about being fast. Forget about being Mr. Superstar, because that don't really exist if you're an artist. You just want to become better, okay? And you want to learn something new always. And that's what you're doing here. You're kind of challenging how to get the sound, and that's what you want to do. You want to maintain that sound. And it's a natural thing. It's nothing to do with the so-called molar system. It's total bullshit, okay? I shouldn't say that because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, really, you know, think that what they're playing is molar. But it's not molar. It's not George Lawrence Stone or Henry Adler or all that shit. What it is the laws of physics. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. And this is a natural approach. Even his book says the natural approach. What does he mean by natural? We're all naturals? No, we work hard to get to where we're at. Some have a little bit more insight and a little bit more abilities than some others, but that's okay. That's a human element. What you're doing here, all right, and I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a son or a daughter. Got to be politically correct these days, so before I get shot, all right, and they admire you and they want to be like you, and he or she wants to play what you're playing. So you give the child 10, 11 years old the sticks, or even 5 years old or 6 years old the sticks. He grabs the sticks or she grabs the sticks like this, naturally. So what you're doing now, and he wants to do what you do. And now don't worry about how sloppy that is, because you're demonstrating it to a little kid. And the little kid will go like this. He'll do what you're doing. Then you say, okay, do this. Guess what? The kid will do it. Exactly like that. All right? Now, if I break that down, what the hell is that? What in the world? What the hell? Hold on, guys. Oh, I see what that is. All right. If he breaks that down, if you break it down, I was playing this. I was playing 16th notes from one height. I want an accent. I lift the stick and I break it down for you like that. I take the motion, slow motion. If I played this, and you were taking a video of it, and if you slowed it way down, almost to stand still, you see this. 2, 3, 4, E, and that's what's occurring, and that's what I teach. I'm not teaching you how to play, because nobody can teach you how to play, except the music. Period. I'm showing you how to execute with a minimal amount of energy. Got it? That's what I'm showing. Now remember what I said. Nobody can teach you to play. They could explain to you what's occurring technically inside of a tune. They could show you and demonstrate to you, okay, how it's done. Now, how it feels and the placement of it is an individual thing, is what the music is telling you to play. So that's how you learn. If you're playing just a little basic rock pattern like this, I could break it down for you. 1, 2, bum, bum, boom, ding, bop, boom, boom, boom. I refer to that as a money beat. Where I put that, how I make it sound, depends on the musicians I'm playing with and what song I'm playing. It's simple, but I'll break it down for you. All right. Geez, where did the time go? All right. Now, don't forget there, Charles, email me, okay? Now, guys, today is the last, well, no, it's Thursday. What I'm doing starting next week, I'm cutting down, instead of four times a week broadcasting, 4 times at 1 p.m. and 4 times at 7 p.m., I'm cutting it down to 2 days for the months of July and August. I do need some time for myself and with my family, plus practice and writing. Okay, so we are going to start next week on Wednesday and Thursday, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. If you're on my mailing list, okay, you will get notification if that changes. How's that sound, guys? And For those who don't have my email, this is what it is. Come on. Now, I do have quite a few books out, that are published, and the two books that I'm very interested in sending out there is the Stick Control Book Formulas, which is 180 pages and 45 different formulas. That's for sale. Email me and I'll give you the details. I also have the syncopation formulas. That's also for sale. That's another 160, 70 pages. Okay? Email me and I'll give you the details. Now, if you want to buy some drum books, say from Hudson Music or from Hal Leonard or Amazon or Alfred, go to my site. It's mattpatella.livelessons.com. Go under Matt's products and you'll see an array of books. Hit on, say, Tommy Igo's book or the Gene Krupa book. That will take you directly to Hudson Music, and it's all affiliated with Hal Leonard, Alfred, and all those guys. You purchase a book from there, I get a credit for that. Okay, so I think I've done a long lesson this afternoon. I hope that I get some people coming back. If you want to come back, email me. I'll put you on the mailing list and give you the week's agenda and PDFs if necessary. And I do hope I've helped a few of you out today. So at this point of the lesson, are there any questions? I will be back this evening at 7 p.m. Okay, guys? No questions? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, with that being said, yeah, I'll be here. All right, thank you, Seth. Give me a chance to go outside and get a cigarette, okay, Seth? Thank you, Charles. We'll see everyone.